NewSQL database. This database is designed to handle big data. That means large volume of data sets are handled through this NewSQL database. SQL database managed SQL database is not enough to handle large volume. But this new SQL is designed to handle the large volume of data. It is a modern type of database system. Here, this database system combines the scalability of NoSQL with the ACID properties and SQL support of traditional relational databases. The NoSQL database does not support ACID properties. ACID means atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. The data should have all these four properties means that can be handled by this new SQL, but no SQL now able to handle ACID property because it does not support consistency due to the unavailability of data consistency in the NoSQL. But new SQL support ACID properties as well as this new SQL support traditional relational concept that is also missing in the NoSQL. So new SQL is a combination of NoSQL as well as SQL. It aims to overcome the limitation of traditional RDBMS in handling high performance and large scale applications. As well as this also supports the limitation of NoSQL, that is NoSQL does not having the ACID, supports the ACID property, but this new SQL support the ACID property. The drawbacks in RDBMS as well as NoSQL is removed by this new SQL. This new SQL provides a strong consistency, reliability, and transaction support like traditional SQL database. Also, it supports horizontal scalability and distributed architecture. This one is similar to NoSQL. This new SQL supports the ACID compliance, that is atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability features supported with the database. And this also supports the horizontal scalability like NoSQL. That means the growth in the data sizes accepted by this new SQL. High performance in the online transaction processing is also supported by this new SQL. This new SQL database supports the relational data model, which is not supported by NoSQL, and this also supports the SQL query and its tools. Already we are having NoSQL as well as SQL. Then why we have to go with new SQL means SQL supports the relational database management system. NoSQL does not support the relational database management system, and SQL can handle only the structured data. NoSQL can handle semi-structured, unstructured data. But in some situation, for some of the application, we want to handle all the three, that is structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data, and also wants to use traditional relational database concepts. Means this new SQL support all these things. This new SQL supports scaling across distributed system, and this one lacks strong consistency and standard. This is not lack in strong consistency and standard query language like NoSQL. This new SQL supports middle ground, scalability, consistency, and this also supports the SQL. Those who are familiar with SQL can easily use this new SQL. The advantage of this new SQL is this combines the scalability of NoSQL and consistency of SQL. And this is very easy to migrate from traditional SQL database to new SQL, and this also supports real-time analytics and fast transaction processing like NoSQL. This new SQL is suitable for mission critical applications like banking data as well as e-commerce through online. But this also having some issues that as this new SQL is relatively new and this is still evolving, and fewer tools and communities compared to traditional databases available with this one, and the cost is very high. The databases which support the database softwares which support this new SQL are Google Spanner, Cockroach DB, Volt DB, NeoDB, and MemSQL. The new SQL databases are supported by the applications which are having high frequency financial trading system and the applications which need the real-time fraud detections and large-scale e-commerce platform-oriented application and telecom billing system-oriented applications are mostly used in this new SQL. This shows a comparative study of SQL, NoSQL and NewSQL. Already I have told that the NewSQL is the combination of SQL and NoSQL. This list of features which are all supported by SQL, NoSQL and NewSQL that explained in detail. The ACID property is supported by SQL as well as NewSQL, but NoSQL does not support it. The online transaction processing systems handled by SQL as well as NewSQL, but NoSQL does not support that. And schema rigidity is available with SQL. This is partially available with the NewSQL, but NoSQL does not have any schema, predefined schema. Data format flexibility is not available with SQL, but it is available with NoSQL and NewSQL having it partially. The scalability support as vertical scalability support is available with SQL, and horizontal scalability is supported with NoSQL as well as NewSQL. And distributed computing concept is accepted by SQL, NoSQL and NewSQL. Community support is with SQL it is very huge, but with the NoSQL it is in the growing state. In NewSQL it starts. If we talk about the security, data security, SQL is more secure, having the more security. NoSQL having less security, and NewSQL moderately having the data security. Databases supported by SQL as a distributed database are not supported by SQL, but distributed databases are supported by NoSQL and NewSQL. Other data types models supported by SQL as relational model. NoSQL supports document-based, graph, column-oriented, and network. But NewSQL supports this slide explained how the SQL, NoSQL and NewSQL are having the features. The first feature is ACID property, which is very important for all the database management system. The SQL and NewSQL support this ACID property, but NoSQL does not support it. Online transaction processing handling is very easy with SQL and NewSQL, but it is not possible with NoSQL. Schema rigidity is available with NoSQL and it is partially supported by NewSQL, but there is no schema definition for NoSQL. Data format flexibility is not available with SQL, but it is available with NoSQL, partially available with NewSQL. Data scalability is vertically supported by SQL, horizontal scaling is supported by NoSQL, and NewSQL having partial. Distributed computing is supported by SQL, NoSQL, and NewSQL. Community support is very large with SQL, it is medium and it is growing with NewSQL. Data security is available with SQL, less security is available with NoSQL. NewSQL is a moderate one. Database, notice the distributed database is not supported by SQL. Distributed database is supported by NoSQL as well as NewSQL. No SQL having data security, no SQL having less data security, new SQL having moderate data security. SQL does not support a distributed database. No SQL and new SQL supports a distributed database. Types of database supported by SQL is relational database. NoSQL supports non-relational database. New SQL supports relational database, but it is partially supported. Thus, online processing is not fully supported by SQL, but the NoSQL and new SQL is used only for online analytical processing. The query handling is very simple with SQL. No SQL has used complex queries, highly efficient and complex queries are supported by new SQL. MySQL is an example for SQL, MongoDB is an example for NoSQL, CockroachDB is the example for new SQL.